Well, camera doesn't seem to be working, but we'll move on. All right. So there seems to be some dissenting opinions in chat, and we're just going to move on because it doesn't frankly matter right now. People can consider whatever they wish of me. I put too much time and effort into creating this with my team, and it is what it is. So, anyway, we're back on Monday. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is SATAL time, and we are here for a doubleheader. NMS Nemesis taking on 406th. Now, these are two teams that I don't know that we've ever seen 406th. Maybe we have, maybe we haven't. I can't really remember. But should be a good time for 406th against Nemesis in a 4v4 best of 3, followed by Bravo Squadron against TAW. So we've got Silver League 4v4, followed by Diamond League 4v4, and we will get there. And just to touch back on what happened, guys, things happen. Things happen with changings of schedules and stuff. But when you say things like, I'm tired of getting cucked in my chat, right? In my chat, that I'm going to get a little upset for the amount of time that we put into this. Oh, final thing under the DCS World bit in the description, it says pace. In the last sentence, I think it's supposed to be plays. That is very possible, the plastic rubber duck. I am a terrible speller, and I'm a terrible human being. For most parts, I'm not. I screw up all the time. Like, it is, it's a total mess. But I've also learned that I'll admit when I screw up. So the effort put into this is very impressive. You ought to be extremely proud of it. Dude, I am, but I don't like it when people come in here and show attitude. And I don't have patience. For those of you that don't know, and you can view this as an excuse, I got hit by a delivery truck years ago. And because of that, I don't have a lot of patience. I have no filter. And what I think comes right out. So I try and keep this a professional place. I try and keep this as organized and stuff as possible. My team is fantastic. But when you start shitting on what was created, and because things don't get streamed on a day when, you know, we're trying our best. We're not making money on this. Everything that we get goes right back into this. I mean, my team and I have spent astronomical amounts of money to make this happen. We're not directly backed by Eagle Dynamics. Yes, we do get some money from Thrustmaster, but we pay tons of money in server dues to get the servers for all the competitors to take place, cameras, PC equipment, prizes, all kinds of stuff. Yeah, I know the live cam's not showing it. I don't know what its deal is. It doesn't want to work. So it's just going to not work for the time being. And so I get a little touchy when people start to have an attitude towards us, and I try not to have an attitude in the general place of things, I guess. And if things get pushed off a day and the schedule's not perfectly right, well, that's how it is. And what ended up happening was over the weekend, Alpha Whiskey spent several hours over the weekend creating supercuts and the imagery that we see today. And instead of forcing him to get and go through and do it all in the morning and spend another ridiculous morning going through it and hurrying and being stressed out, I said, hey, Alpha, instead of being stressed out about this, we already have this one that you've created. Let's just do that today, and then we'll move the other one tomorrow. I mean, that's all that'll happen. So he created these two. We'll have to fix some stuff, and we'll go from there. So maybe I shouldn't have banned him, but the fact when you say, I'm tired of getting cucked, kind of comes at to me of, I'm tired of being cucked by you. And whether he meant it or not, it was in chat, so I inferred. And I don't have time for that this morning. So we'll deal with it later, but I don't have time for it. So here we are. And it is SATAL time, so we're going to put that on the back burner. Breeze, we can talk about it later. We're going to go through the streams. Nemesis against 406, followed by Bravo Squadron against TAW. Silver League 4v4 getting us started today, followed by Diamond League 4v4. I'm excited for both of these. I love going into Silver League because they're teams that I haven't really seen, and the teams that are competing in Silver League are kind of all over the map as far as skill level. All right, so it's fantastic. I'm not talking about any teams being worse or others, but man, it is just so exciting to see pilots and teams that I've never seen before, and being able to ride along with them here through the tracks and everything like that. Now, somebody in chat sent me a message in Discord, a suggestion, and I'm totally open to suggestions, guys. This is just something else. Said on the TAC views, and I'll show you here right now, on the TAC view screen, move the things into the upper right corner. So we're going to try that today. I don't remember who it was. Whoever it is, if you're here in chat, maybe it was Raptor Dad, made that suggestion. We're going to try it. I got rid of camera 3 in this one. So 5/15, it's not that they're not offering anything. They do. The cooperation that I have with ED, they take us very seriously. You know, when we have bugs and things, let this go through. When we have bugs and things, they are the first to say, what can we do to fix it? It's a new relationship, right? So I just said that because I don't want people to think that we're getting rich off this. Like, we maybe break even. I mean, the amount of time that Alpha Whiskey, Sean, Coyote, Bear put into this is astronomical. That they're poor? No, I don't think that ED's poor. It's more of the relationship is new, and we just haven't made it to that point yet. So that's where we're going. That relationship is developing and maturing and flourishing, and I love working with them. It's been fantastic, but the amount of time that gets put into this and the funds that get generated by it from some of the sponsors and from you guys, we're at a net loss or a break even if we're lucky. So it is what it is. But we do it not for the money. We do it because we love it. And I started this all because, and we're kind of off on a tangent here, because I wanted to create an environment where teams had more of a competitive sphere to compete in, and we've turned it into this, and it's been phenomenal. I love the group that I work with. I love the community. I don't have patience for people that talk smack in the streams. But that is enough. I'm gonna get off my soapbox here. We're gonna go into the match. We're gonna check out the supercut. I hope I linked the right one. I hope today is just not a complete and utter disaster. As far as me screwing things up, I changed some stuff on the cameras. Camera 3, I took the shadows out for terrain, and on the other 2 cameras, I took out SSAO and SSLR. I left on SMAA to try and get rid of some of the jackies, because people are like, Moltar, why don't you have anti-alias on? So SMAA is on, or MSAA is on. FXAA, and FXAA is different than SMAA or MSAA. FXAA is more of like depth. You can see it a lot in the terrain and stuff. That is not very resource intensive, so that has stayed on the entire time. But SMAA or MSAA is much more resource intensive, so it's on for camera 1 and camera 2, but it is not on for camera 3. So hopefully everything looks okay. Things may go down a little bit, but it was mainly, I made those changes because I'm trying to get camera 3 timed up. It's been falling behind a lot lately, and that's why I have problems with the cameras and things sometimes, because it's like 20 seconds behind, and it's having some major problems. So I don't know. So we're trying to change some stuff to get that fixed. But anyway, let's check out the supercut. When we get back, Nemesis taking on 406 in a best of 3 4v4. Here we go. All right, so here we are, and Raptor Dad saying, oh man, because I don't know if you guys know this, but you can be a mercenary, all right? So you can be a mercenary inside the DCS World Events Discord, okay? So the mercenary then you're draftable by teams if they need an extra man. Okay, so Raptor Dad stepped up and has been the first mercenary that I've known of. Maybe there have been others. I'm picking on Raptor Dad because he's always in chat. So Raptor Dad, I'm sorry. I'm not going to say anything after this. I'm giving you credit because you stepped up and said, hey, I want to get in on this action. It's not something I've really done before. Let me in. So Raptor Dad stepped up. He is here, along with 406, taking on Nemesis Haw, and we're going to see how this gets going. So massive kudos and credit to Raptor Dad for getting this going. I mean, you got to have some balls. He's got to have a wheelbarrow or maybe even a dump truck following around his jet to crate around the balls that he's got in that cockpit. Okay, so just something to think about. But he is here with 406. Let's check out who else is flying for these teams. There we go. So Nemesis Haw, 3 F-16s, Dodge, Skos. You're just Sko. I can't even say, I don't even know how to say it. It's Greek. I don't even know how to say it. Aeolus and Eagle. So 3 16s and an F-18. And gosh, I'm just a dumb American. I don't know how to say that. So can somebody give me explain like I'm 5 with a phonetic breakdown on how to say Scotostras? Scotostras? How do I say that? Anyway, moving on to 406 Red Bandits, we've got Deathly and Raptor Dad in the F-16s, CTF Raven and Levitated in the good old MiG-29. So we don't see very many MiG-29s. 406 has come in here. Again, I said Raptor Dad had some massive balls for taking and coming in and getting into competitive play, and these guys have some massive testicles to be able to come in and bring the Fulcrum. We hardly ever see it. I am not saying that the Fulcrum is a bad jet, by any means. I'm not saying that. But the deficit that it finds itself in off the get-go, in comparison to the other jets, is quite rough. Oh, I'm hitting the wrong button. Like, why is the camera staying in the same spot? But it's because I'm hitting the wrong button. I was hitting F3 instead of F2, and it was just going back to F3 because who knows why. Okay, so back to the MiG-29. The MiG-29 is just at a massive deficit in comparison to the main other aircraft, the F-16, the F-18, the F-14, even the F-15 the flanker. Why? Because it's effectively a baby flanker, right? So it doesn't have quite the cockpit suite that the flanker does. It has way less fuel, and it has four fewer missiles. Now, in comparison to the Su-27, the MiG can carry R-77, so it does have that benefit, but when you compare it against the J-11, it really doesn't have anything. Okay, so that's why I think it's at such a deficit in comparison to virtually everything else, and I've got to give them massive kudos for coming in here and taking it. Now let's check out the liveries for what these guys are taking. First, looking at Nemesis Haw's Eagle on the F-18. I cannot overstate this. The attention to detail that these guys have put in with the liveries continues to boggle my mind. The artistic ability that these guys are putting in is phenomenal. I mean, this one is understated. It's simple. I love that they just have Nemesis on the top, and then they've got the vertical stab art, the tail art. I love that kind of artwork and that kind of livery. That is awesome. And I actually think there's an F-16 floating around here somewhere. I'm going to find it. Where is it? There it is. So here's the F-16 from Nemesis. It's a little bit different. It's more of an all-encompassing livery, but I like the detail, like the gold racks. I love people expressing their artistic creativity and what they feel their livery means to their team and what their team represents showcased in the livery itself. So I love being able to see this and what people think of when they think of their own squadron. And it's the colors that come out, black and gold. It's just really, really cool. So I love this. I don't think 406 has one. I don't think they have one because they're using some of like the aggressor liveries. At least Deathly is in the F-16. I don't think the MiG-29s have anything. No, Levitated doesn't have anything. So nothing against 406. Their 406 is like brand new. Like brand new. So I cannot fault them at all for not having a livery. You know, liveries are not for everybody. All right, so just because you don't have a livery as a team doesn't necessarily mean anything. Nipple. Lunkwell saying nipple tanks. Somebody please take this, screenshot it, and Photoshop nipples, like male nipples, onto that. And by no means, Aeolus or Nemesis, am I making fun of your guys' liveries. I just think it's funny that somebody said that. It's hilarious, and I will never look at the F-16 wing tanks the same way. I'm always going to picture them with nipples on them, forever. CTF Raven, did you ever fly the 18? Nobody needs suit to fight. No, you can come in here bare-ass naked and make something happen. All right, so let's bring up the overlays and all that jazz and get ready. Buckle up, because these guys are going. The mission location today, I think it's Nelchik against Sochi, but I'm going to double-check this. Yes, it is Nelchik against Sochi. Here is the mission location for today's matchup, and it looks like Nemesis is significantly closer to the AO, to Bullseye, than 406 is. So 406 is going to have to be weary of getting pressed back too far and getting pushed out of the bubble. We have seen it happen a couple times where teams get pushed aggressively by their opponent, and the bubble wall acts as another player, and they can't get out because if you leave the bubble, you die. And that bubble is going to shrink a mile a minute. And I mean that quite literally. I know that's an expression, but the bubble will shrink a mile a minute. All right, so it shrinks indefinitely. It will keep going as long as there are pilots still in the server. I know there has been some talk about not being able to see the bubble in the cockpit and stuff, and I want people to know as soon as we get features that enable that to happen with the shrinking bubble, we will implement it. But what we've run into is that if we were to do waypoints, there's not really a good way to get the waypoints to shrink with the bubble. So right now, the only way that you can see it is with the bubble on the F10 map. Now, we do want it to come in, and we are working on things and working with ED to find ways to be able to showcase the bubble, both looking visually out of the cockpit, so with your Mark II eyeball, and on the MFD. All right, so just things and food for thought. Russian MiG-29, consistent with their commitment for a greener planet. Yeah. Yeah, there. Look at that. Just Greenpeace. Where are you at? I mean, look at this. Look at that destruction and pollution. Raven giving no cares about the environment here. Let's look at weapons. So, SCO, taking it F-16's got 6 AMRAAMs. Dodge doing the same. Aeolus is 5 and 1. So Aeolus has 5 AMRAAMs and 1 heater. Eagle's got all the missiles, 10 AMRAAMs and 2 heaters. And then moving over to 406, Raven and the MiG-29, who we're looking at right now, has 4 77s and 2 73s. Deathly in a 16 is 4 and 2, so 4 AMRAAMs, 2 heaters. Levitated is taking a really kind of interesting loadout. Let's find Levitated. Here's Levitated. Levitated in the MiG-29 has 2 ETs, 2 73s, and 2 77s. So 4 heaters and 2 radar-guided active missiles. So that's just an interesting loadout that he's got going there. And then Raptor Dad in the F-16 is also 4-2. So teams are moving to a setup of, and I can't really say moving because a lot of these matches took place at the same time. So it's not really Greta breathing out. You guys and your memes are on point. Oh. But the teams, I guess, have recognized on the last bug that was brought out with the last patch, and we're not missing anything from the teams. They've still got a bit of an ingress. It was a long ingress, Sochi against Nelchek. So long ingress coming in here. Teams recognized in different ways. We saw this really first from Grim Reapers. A lot of the Grim Reaper guys in their last win, I don't remember who they won over, were taking many, many AIM-9s on their F-16s. They were all F-16s and one Hornet, if I remember correctly. And there were many, many AIM-9s taken instead of TFS-81. Thank you, Bear. Instead of 120s. And it seems to have not have been limited to the Grim Reapers because there are many F-16s here. Aeolus is taking one heater. Raptor Dad's taking 2, Deathly's taking 2, that are sacrificing, instead of taking the 6 AMRAMs, to take 4 AMRAMs and 2 heaters. By the way, I've been told since the last patch the 120B is harder to notch. Really? I have not flown with the 120 Bravo in a long time, so I'm not entirely sure. First missile, that's going to be off from Deathly from 406, and then SCO and Dodge are also launching 120s, and I just saw another missile come off from Deathly. Those are 2 inboard 120s. We can see them going up, up, and away. Those look like, and there's a third one. That one looks like it's coming from Raptor Dad in the trail. Not sure who those are on yet because Nemesis is pretty closely clumped up. Multiple 120s now coming off of Dodge and Eagle, and then we've got one off from Aeolus and SCO down here to the south. So 2 of Deathly's are going down here to the southern 2 ship, and then one, I think, from Raptor Dad, and there goes the second one, coming up on the Eagle and Dodge. So we're going to take a look and stay in this view just to see as if things continue to get a little bit close, and if teams allow things to get chaotic. I'm actually going to take a look at this one. So this missile is headed in towards, who's this headed in towards? It's on Aeolus and SCO, and I'm going to put a 3 and 1. So we've got Pip on the missile and SCO riding here, and they're not really doing a whole lot. SCO, I'm worried, is not defending at all. He's at 30. Oh, Raptor Dad, you guys didn't see that. Just got pummeled on camera too. So Raptor Dad got taken down, or somebody did. And now we're looking at SCO. Oh, SCO took down Raven. So that wasn't Raptor Dad, that was Raven, the wingman of Raptor Dad. Up here, I read my notes incorrectly because I'm a boob. But I'm going to pause this so you guys can see what actually took place. So I've been terrible with the cameras lately, guys. I don't know what's going on with my brain, but I've just been reading things incorrectly. So missile that came in, and it was on, no, it wasn't on Raptor Dad's wingman at all. What the hell, Moltar, are you talking about? What are you talking about? So Raven gets a missile launched at him from SCO, and that was launched from 35,000 feet, right around Mach 1. And Raven doesn't really do anything until it's too late. And he's defending now 30,000 feet, Mach 2, but he's way too high. And the missile, since he's still so high, is able to stay in that thin air and just come in and ramrod him. So Raven goes down. He is the first casualty. He gets taken down. And actually, we've got Deathly. Deathly then gets taken down. So it was a twofer in the opening engagement that I missed on both. So Raven got taken down by SCO, and then Dodge took down Deathly, and we're already down to a 4v2. No. No. That is not what we want to see. Let's go back, get things started again. Here we go. I apologize, guys, for missing that here early. But Raven and Deathly get taken down. My brain has just not been working correctly. I thought it was something else going on. So we've got Raptor Dad launching his third 120, which means he's got one 120 left, needs to turn those lights out, and 2 AIM-9s. Raptor Dad now defending an incoming 120 from Dodge. Dodge breaks away. The AIM-120 from Raptor Dad's going to be going down onto SCO. Dodge flaring, I guess, because he was worried about an incoming heater coming onto his jet. Here is Sko. Doesn't know that 120's coming onto him. He still has 5 sticks, 2 tanks. 120 from Raptor Dad is down to Mach 1.8 in closing. Levitated now. Has a missile coming in on him from Eagle. Eagle launched that from about 15,000 feet, Mach 1.1. Eagle is levitated. I'm not even looking at the right people. Like, what am I doing? What am I doing? You guys aren't even looking at the correct thing. So here's levitated in the MiG-29. And I think a big part of this, of these guys not knowing where anything is that they're in these MiGs. There's the missile 1 mile away. He's committing missile, doesn't hit him. It flies harmlessly by him. So he's able to out-energy that. Levitated and Raptor Dad still being the only 2 remaining for 406. Then we're going to put both these guys on screen. So Levitated on the left in his MiG-29. Raptor Dad with still 3 tanks, 1 120 and 2 AIM-9s on the right. .120 now coming out from Dodge onto Levitated. Levitated now breaking back into that. Missile still 2.5 miles away, but Mach 1.5. It's closing rapidly. Don't turn back into the missile, Levitated. And it's okay because it missed. But there's another one coming from Eagle, 6.5 miles away. No, it's 2.5 miles away right there. That doesn't track. Raptor Dad down to the south is trying to engage the southern 2 ship. Levitated puts a 27 ET out onto Eagle. That doesn't look like it's tracking. Second ET goes out onto Eagle, and we'll go take a look at Eagle from Eagle's point of view and see if we can see either of those missiles. There goes one. That's not going to be a problem. Going over to look at Raptor Dad as he defends against a couple AMRAAMs. That one got a little close. 0.4 miles. I think I saw it at 0.3 at one point. Now we've got Levitated ingressing on an Eagle. Going back to take a look at him. He's in a great position. R77, 73 out from him, onto Eagle. Eagle gets taken down. Great shot by Levitated. Raptor Dad now launching 3 miles out there. That one goes straight into the ground. Raptor Dad now has a missile coming in. Where is it? It's going to be somewhere. It got line of sighted, but he's got multiple people trying to run him down. Levitated up there to the north, isolated. Eagle does a great job of making that work. And we're going to put everybody on attack view. So we've got Sko down here on the bottom, Raptor Dad and Levitated. Sko trying to come in on the Raptor Dad. And he is at 12,000 feet on Raptor Dad's flank. Raptor Dad's going to be considerably lower than him. Mach 1, Levitated just launched an R77 at Sko. Maybe that's on Aeolus, I can't tell. But Levitated's got a 120 coming up 2 miles away. I don't think he gets away from this one. Sko just launched a missile at Raptor Dad. He doesn't get away from that one either. So both the remaining pilots from 406 get taken down in a matter of seconds by Sko and Aeolus. 120 connected with Levitated and another 120 connected with Raptor Dad. Near simultaneously, both those guys go down. It was a good try by 406. Levitated got close, took down at least one person on the opposing team, and that person was Eagle. But it ended up being a 3v1 or 3v2, and Nemesis just did a better job of prosecuting there at the end of that round. So what ended up happening, we can take a look at the TAC view. Levitated gets Eagle isolated up here to the north and just keeps firing, keeping him on the defensive here. First ETs, and then a 73, and then another 73. And at this point, I don't know how many missiles Levitated has left. I don't think it's going to be many. Now going down to look at Raptor Dad, who is being engaged by a 3-ship. The gangbang is here, and Raptor Dad needs to find some way to disappear. Levitated coming in from the north. Raptor Dad trying to come in on Dodge. I think if I was 406 in this position, I would like to see the 2-ship of Levitated and Raptor Dad prosecute the isolated Dodge up here to the northwest. You can see how separated he is from Sko. He's 11 miles away. Raptor Dad could have driven right in here in between, forced him to the north, and Levitated, meanwhile, coming in from the north, could have met him head on. So that could have been, that's what I would have done, taken it to a 2v2, and then recommit, somehow disappear and recommit onto Sko and Aeolus. But what ends up happening is Raptor Dad breaks away, and I'm not sure why. Maybe he was getting an STT lock from Sko. Well, Sko does have a lot of energy. Sko's at Mach 1.25. Raptor Dad's almost at Mach 1, so I don't know that Raptor Dad would have been able to get in here and push Dodge to the north. He probably would have gotten run down by SCO in that instance. So SCO using that energy, doing really well coming in against Raptor Dad. Raptor Dad, I think, needs to do a little bit better analysis about what he's going to do in a defensive position, especially when the bandit's in close, because this missile's coming from under 3 miles. You're not going to out-energy this. Your two options are line of sight or notch. And I think Raptor Dad panicked and tried to get away from it, and it's just not going to happen. It runs him down, and he gets taken down. And simultaneously, up here to the north, Levitated just doesn't defend against that 120 until it's too late. And he's too slow to drive enough of a distance to force this thing to bleed enough energy. You can see he tries to get into a turn, but at Mach 0.7, he just doesn't have the gusto to be able to make that missile be aggressive enough and bleed tons of energy. So it nonchalantly makes that last turn, connects with his aircraft, and Nemesis finds themselves up 1-0, which means we're on to round 2. Nemesis up 1-0 over 406 in nothing over Nemesis Squadron. And I think a big part of them going down 1-0 was they lost 2 aircraft, Raven and Deathly, very early in that engagement. Very, very early. I mean, in the first pass, I don't even know that they shot, and Raven went down to SCO and Deathly went down to Dodge. And when you're down that early against a 4-ship, your morale goes down, your just heartfelt everything goes down, and it's just not a good place to be in. I don't know why the second camera is having difficulty starting. These cameras are a pain in my butt. Just a big pain in my batootie. There we go. They don't like to start. Sometimes they do. I use auto hotkey to move my mouse and execute certain things and do all that stuff. Just rough. I don't know why they don't start. But now they're all lined up. So these guys are ready to go. But 406 against Nemesis. Nemesis is again up 1-0 over 406. Let's talk again about what happened to 406 in that opening round. They've got to find a way to not lose 2 people in the opening salvo. If that went late game, 4v4, Levitated could have taken down Eagle, and then it would have been a 4v3. So them losing 2 people right off the get-go put them in a really, really bad situation. But maybe going in here to round 2, they'll be able to overcome that, and we will be able to make, hopefully, a round 3 out of this. Everybody is now departing. We can see Nemesis departing. Nemesis has moved over to Nelchik, and 406 has moved over to Sochi. So both the F-16s for 406, which are going to be Raptor Dad and Deathly, are departing up here at Sochi. The 2 MiG-29s, Levitated and Raven, are now departing. At least I think it's Levitated and Raven. Yeah, it's Levitated and Raven. And I think there was somebody that changed teams. Let's check that. So again, Nemesis Ha is... Yeah, they did. So SCO isn't on Nemesis in this round. It's going to be Pitbull Dog. So Dodge, Pitbull, Aeolus, and Eagle in the F-18 are going to be coming in for Nemesis. And then for 406 Red Bandits, it's going to be Deathly, Raptor Dad, CTF Raven, and Levitated. 2 F-16s and 2 MiG-29s. Chat, what do you guys think needs to happen here for 406 to come out on top? Levitated did a great job picking up on the isolated Eagle. He fired missiles, forced him, and kept him on the defensive. And then that defensiveness paid off by him getting the kill. Then they went down into the 2-ship, and that really fell apart when SCO was in at Mach 1.25, utilized his energy to take down Raptor Dad, because Raptor Dad wasn't going to be able to get away from him. So another thing that I think 406 could muster is better energy states. If they're able to do that, if they're able to do better energy states, they're going to find themselves in a much more open environment because they're going to be able to run. They're going to be able to defend. And they're going to be able to attack at a much higher rate than they would if they're slower. And that's what the F-16 excels at. You got to use that energy to your advantage. If you don't, and you're trying to play this a fuel game, take an F-18. There's no reason to take an F-16 in that situation. Take an F-18 if you're going to fly low and slow. And there's nothing wrong with flying low and slow if that's your game plan. But if you're going to take an F-16, use it to your advantage. Use it to your advantage and make something happen. Okay? Otherwise, fly something else that is going to be more suited to your particular game plan going into a match. 406 needs to somehow find themselves in the merge. Well, that would be advantageous for everybody. But that is a hard place to get yourself when you're in flatland. And that fight, guys, in the last one, took place north of Bullseye. It was somewhere, if I remember right, up here. So there is flatland here, right? It's not all mountains. Yes, there are tall peaks, but this AO in this situation is going to be about half foothills and half mountains. So you've got the mountains here, foothills, and even flatland up to the north. A-10 low and slow. Dude, the A-10 is a perpetual notch. It is a continuous flying notch if flown correctly. You should not get hit by a radar-guided missile. Hell, you should not get hit by an IR-guided missile. How slow that thing flies and the sheer amount of countermeasures that an A-10 can carry is mind-boggling. It can shit out countermeasures at an uncontested rate in comparison to everything else. And yeah, it has those countermeasures because it's going in against ground defenses. But when you're putting it into air combat, that does have an advantage, right? You can force people into a merge. And yes, it can only take 4 AIM-9s, but now the A-10-2 has the helmet-mounted sight. You can lock people. I think it can even take the AIM-9X, can't it? I think it can. So in a close-in engagement, the A-10 should reign supreme. It can only take 2? It used to be able to carry double racks. Oh, you guys are connected. You're telling them what round we're in. Okay, I'm sorry. Use A-10 to waste all enemy missiles. Yeah, you may get to the engagement after it's already done. There is that. I forgot about that. It's so slow that the match could be over by the time you get to Bullseye in round 1. So there is that. A-10 can carry double rack AIM-9M on each wingtip. So the A-10-2, the new one we got with the helmet-mounted queuing system, it can't carry the X. It can only carry the M. Really? Just M. Okay. Interesting. Wonder why they wouldn't have given it the X. When did the version of the A-10 come out that we have? The new one. Not the OG A-10C. The new A-10-2C. Is it 9X banned? Well, in SATAL it is, but this is Karza, this is all hypothetical. I mean, I don't know. Who would take an A-10 in SATAL anyway? By the time you get there, everyone is out of fuel waiting for you. Yeah. I mean, The A-10 would, I guess, could make sense if everybody was, if the bubble was really close to your base. You could just fly low and hide, maybe. Some team's gonna do this, and it's gonna be mind-boggling. I'm gonna laugh if it's like super effective somehow. I'm sick, got the flu for my son, but already getting better. Dude, I'm glad to hear that. It's never good when you go down. I just got my flu shot. Raptor Dad says, challenge accepted. Raptor Dad, you joined a squadron, didn't you? I think you did. Elrex says, gotta see it. Dude, that would be awesome if a team would do that. Again, I don't know how effective it would be, but it would be really cool. It'd be really cool to see. Multiple missiles now coming out from Pitbull and Eagle. They are going to be 120s. Here's one of them as it encroaches. The second one as it also encroaches. So the missile we're viewing right now is, I don't know which one it is. Is it this one? I don't know if I'm looking at the same missile or not. I can never tell. It's hard to tell. Are they at the same speed virtually? No, this is right. All right, so we've got split screen. We got one coming up on the Deathly, one going down to Raptor Dad. Both these guys are thinking about defending, and actually we've got missiles rapidly encroaching onto Pit Bulldog and onto Eagle, and those are going to be a lot more problematic, I think, than the two missiles that were launched by Pit Bulldog and Eagle, as they got a bit closer, especially the one coming in onto Pit Bulldog, which is here on the left with the livery on his jet in the F-16. The other two F-16s for Nemesis don't have the liveries on. Raptor Dad needs to be a little bit careful. He is dragging a very close 120. Line of sighted it, or lost energy and isn't able to guide fully onto it. It's trying. It's jogging. It's out for a jaunt with Raptor Dad. He recognized that missile's trash. He's got 5-6 left. Again, needs to remember, turn off your lights, Raptor Dad. Moltar, I believe this is the first time that a team bring a Fulcrum into SATAL. No, 406 did it in their first match. 406 has done this before. So, not the first time. First time was a little bit ago. Raptor Dad now exchanging missiles with Dodge. 120s being launched from both these guys. Raptor Dad's going to be on the right, and we're going to put Dodge on the left. So here's both of these guys as they continually exchange 120s. Dodge still has his lights on. He's got 5-6. Raptor Dad down to 3 sticks on his jet. Late 120 off of Raptor Dad on a Dodge. I don't think that's going to be effective. We're going to focus on Raptor Dad because I think Dodge is more than defensive enough. Actually, Aeolus. The second missile may be on Aeolus, and Aeolus isn't really doing much to defend against this missile that's coming in onto him. Raptor Dad driving away. Is that missile tracking him? No, it's not. So Raptor Dad needs to be careful about a recommit into a hot contact, and he's recommitting right now. And I'm worried that he's going to recommit right into the face of Aeolus. Aeolus is going to be decently close here, and this is troublesome for Raptor Dad. He's low. Aeolus is at 20,000 feet, and Aeolus is going to have all of the advantages going into this fight. Aeolus now breaking away, thinking about it. Does he have Raptor Dad locked? Now breaking back in. Aeolus 5 miles away from Raptor Dad, padlocking on both of these. No missiles out from Aeolus yet. No missiles out from Raptor Dad. Raptor Dad, I don't think, sees Aeolus. Missile out from Aeolus 2 miles away from Raptor Dad. Raptor, I don't know if you know this. You're dead. See ya. Raptor Dad goes down to Aeolus, and Raptor Dad is the first casualty, succumbing to a great shot from Aeolus. Aeolus, though, got a little bit lucky in that Raptor Dad could have very easily launched on him and taken him down. Aeolus was at 20,000 feet, no place to go, low to high shot, could have very easily got taken down. So I think that came down to Raptor Dad not scanning high and maybe lack of data link picture overall there. Not entirely sure what happened in Raptor's cockpit, but I'm just making guesses as to what went down. Now, moving over to take a look at Deathly in this situation. Is not good enough. Deathly now breaking away. in his 120, or in his F-16, as Pitbull and Eagle. I think this missile's off from Pitbull up here to the north. On to Deathly. Check the times, and camera 3 is a little bit behind. Should be synced up now. So we've got a 3v2 developing up here to the north, and a no v2 down here to the south. So I like that 406 is closer together. I like that they're not as separated as they were in round one. Multiple 120s coming out from many different directions. From Nemesis Squadron, Deathly needs to be careful. He's going to be fine. Missiles are already down to Mach 1.6. Raven, at the same time, dragging 120s. He's got one on his left flank in the MiG-29. He line of sights that one, and he's got one behind him. One may be on levitated. That one's down to Mach 1.2, so it's not a threat. But levitated, I don't know that he knows that that missile's not a threat. He needs to be aware that only one of his engines is in gate. Guess he's only looking for that half throttle. Is he doing this intentionally? What's going on here? Interesting. 120 now coming out from Eagle in the F-18. Eagle is going to be part of the North 2 ship with Pitbull. That's going to be on to Raven down to the south, then Levitated. Going back to take a look at him, Levitated just launched an ET up at 2 Eagle. And the 120 I thought was going down to Raven is on Levitated, so Levitated's got a missile coming in on his left flank. Can we see it yet? He's turning into it. It's right in front of him. Flies dangerously close. Levitated. Balls of steel on this guy in the MiG-29. Not only for taking the 29, but for coming in against that 120. Now we've got this ET. Is this ET tracking? It's trying. No, it's not tracking. It's the ET not going after anybody. And Levitated now, dragging a 120, 1.1 miles. And this turn's going to be all that's needed against this 120 in that last turn to be able to run it out of its remaining energy. It's going to be out, and the one in front of him is now over this hill. Lost track. So the Southern 2 ship has come up and met 406 from the south. Dodge now ingressing onto 406 from the east. His first and closest opponent is going to be CTF Raven, followed by Levitated up to the north. 120 out from Dodge. That's going to be on to Levitated. Here's that missile. Levitated not doing anything yet. 3 miles. Missiles at Mach 3. Levitated's too slow. I don't think he gets away from this. He tries to do something last moment, and he gets taken down. Great shot by Dodge there. Then Dodge immediately breaks away. Everybody in this fight still has their lights on. Why? Why do you have your lights on, Dodge? Fence checks, brother. Turn them off. Dodge still has 2 120s on his jet. As he recommits. Where is he? So Dodge is right here. He's back in, or turning back in. Deathly's getting a little bit isolated down here to the south. So they go into split screen. Deathly, now we're just going to focus on Deathly. Isolated, he has 1 missile left. Can he make something work with this? He's low. His opponent, Aeolus, is going to be much higher. Aeolus already has a kill, taking down Raptor. He's head on with Deathly. There goes the 120 from 8 miles. Would have liked to see him wait a little bit longer. Aeolus with the missile coming in on to Deathly. Deathly defending. Is he going to be able to line his sight? It looks like it. Missile plows into that mountain, and Aeolus does much of the same. Now going back up and looking at Dodge. Dodge up to the north, trying to make something happen against Raven. Raven, meanwhile, in his MiG-29, launches an R-77 down into Eagle, and Eagle immediately breaks away from the engagement after launching an AMRAAM of his own. Dodge does the same. They are the Northern 2 ship. Pitbull, meanwhile, somewhere in the middle. Doesn't know what he wants to do. Pitbull's right here, and he keeps just staying in this area. He's not committing. He's not going away. Maybe he's providing support in case one of his guys gets in trouble. I'm not entirely sure. But Raven and Deathly are the two lone combatants remaining for 406. This is pretty similar to the situation we found ourselves in round one, except Nemesis has 4 aircraft remaining instead of 3. Fuel states are looking okay. Raven's getting really low. He's got about a quarter of his fuel left in the MiG-29. The MiG-29 burns fuel like it's going out of style. Eagle, just saw him launch a 120 from his F-18. Pitbull, we talked kind of harshly on him. He's now leading the fray. This is a missile from him. Leading the fray for Nemesis. Coming down onto Raven. Dodge then launches a 120 onto Raven. So Raven's got a couple of different missiles coming in from different directions. Is he going to be able to get away from both of them? It's getting close. Getting close. Does he get away from it? It's going to be close. What? What just happened? Why? How did that miss? But there's another one coming somewhere, very close to Raven. I don't see it. He gets away from it. So that missile, MiG-29 pilots, Raven and Levitated, balls of steel to be able to do what they're doing, intentionally or not. Maybe the missiles are just intimidated by the Russian fulcrum. Maybe that's what it is. We got multiple missiles coming in from Aeolus from the 6. Raven, again, somehow notches this missile from Aeolus. I don't see Aeolus. There he is. 2.5 miles away. Things coming in all over the place now onto Raven. Raven trying to get away from things. He's got a missile coming in now from Dodge. Deathly, meanwhile, trying to make something happen against the missile from Dodge. Dodge, he doesn't get away from this. Deathly gets hammered, and Raven is the only one left. Only one remaining, and he's got virtually no fuel in his MiG-29. He does have 2 missiles. He's got an ER and a 73. What can he do? The ER is dangerous in close. I mean dangerous. It accelerates like nobody's business in here. It's an R? What? Why? Is this seriously an R? There goes the 73, headed up to Dodge. Tracking, so Raven gets 1 kill. Fulcrum, like a boss, takes down Dodge. He's got 1 missile left, like no fuel, an 8th tank of gas, no tanks. Now coming in on the Eagle with the 27R, possibly the worst missile ever to face, to come from anywhere in DCS. Oh, he had a 3rd one. It's a 73. That takes down Eagle. So he had 2 73s, and he still has this godforsaken R on his jet. Still alive. Looks like the 2 combatants, Pitbull and Aeolus, lost him. Pitbull's above him. And Aeolus is now behind him. Now Raven is very easy to see with those smoked engines. Raven trying to run away, needs to get over a hill and disappear. Get over it, cut throttle, and disappear. He has like no gas left though. Nothing. Guns kill possible. There goes a shot, doesn't connect. Raven still being pursued, quickly running out of gas. Great turn there by Raven. 250 knots. Needs to be careful to not lose it. Still got a little bit of gas. Trying to make the turn. Does he know that a Pitbull is out there in the distance? I don't know. Raven disappears. Needs to throttle all the way back. Aeolus is running now. Aeolus on the other side of the hill. Raven trying to turn back and follow him. So here's Raven, close to Pitbull. Does he know where Pitbull is? 13,000 feet. He's out of gas. Damn! He had it, man. So Raven says he saw him. Dude! What a round! If Raven had more gas, that could have ended very, very differently. We'll come back to this. Let's revisit this entire engagement. So Raven comes in here, 4v1, ladies and gentlemen. 4v1 in a MiG-29 at that. Comes in, 3 missiles. He's got 2 73s and a mother truckin' R-27R. Like I said, possibly the worst missile on the face of DCS world. It is awful. Awful. That missile is it's terrible. It should be a meme by itself just showing a 27R. So he takes down Dodge. Dodge gets taken down. Another R-73 out on Eagle. Eagle gets schmammered by the R-73. Now, he's got Aeolus all over his 6. He has no fuel. I guess he just didn't see. This could have been an opportune time to kill Pitbull, but I think he just didn't see him. Raven, were you in vertical scan? What happened there? Really rough. Were you invert and just didn't pick him up head on? When sometimes helmet mounted sight, vertical scan, brother. You may have picked him up being that close because it looks above your jet, right? Up above, not below, because the Earth is situated on top of the nose. Could have picked up Pitbull, sent an R-27R into his face, and the R-27R in close range, under a mile, is about the only time it's effective. But you could have got him, maybe vertical scan for when I get report, but can't see. Yeah, you could have maybe had him, maybe. But you also probably didn't even know he was there. That was just rough. That was rough. And then you merge with Aeolus. You do a good job of losing him eventually, but you don't have enough fuel, unfortunately, to be able to recommit. And then you say you get into this valley, and you see Pitbull. If I'm going to be nitpicky here, I think you cost yourself a lot of energy doing this maneuvering. When you've recognized you've lost Aeolus, you turn and then turn the other way. I think it's important to just you got to commit. Because when you're doing these turns, you're wasting a ton of energy. You can see you're already down to Mach 0.4, or did you run out of fuel here? No, you still have fuel, still. You just didn't have quite enough time to be able to make something happen. No, you didn't. You're out of gas. I don't know what I'm even trying to do here, brother. You did really well there at the end. I'm nitpicking, but congratulations to Nemesis. So close, yet so far for 406. Raven gets 2 late kills, 4v1 against Nemesis. Takes down Dodge and Eagle there. Let's check out. I think I got stacked for this one. So top players, Dodge, 3 kills, 1 loss. Sko 2-0, Aeolus 2-0. And the reason Raven isn't on here is because he had more deaths than Sko and Aeolus. So this is the top 3 of that match, all coming from Nemesis Ha. 10 missiles fired for Dodge, 6 from Sko, and 12 from Aeolus. Aeolus did pretty well. Did really well managing his energy state, did really well coming in from altitude. Until the last merge with Raven. I think he could have done better on his energy management with Raven instead of running away. Not sure why he turned tail and ran. Maybe he lost track of it. I don't know, but I'm being nitpicky here. We're going to move on. We're going to take a little bit of a break, 10 minutes or so to set up the next round. Next round is TAW against Bravo Squadron. Diamond League 4v4. We'll be coming at you in about 10 minutes. So go get something to drink. Stick around. More SATAL action. We'll be coming at you in just a bit.
or adapt to the tribe. Don't be worried, better face your fear, cause the hero right here could be the villain next year. Reset means adapt to survive. Adapt to the truth or adapt to the tribe.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're in Diamond League. TAW against Bravo Squadron. So, something I do want to say is that TAW's 4v4 Diamond League team is the 4v4 team from Gold League last year. So, they actually have two separate teams. So, I do want to let people know that that's how this is going. I'm not trying to sugarcoat anything for TAW. I just like people to know where their teams are coming from, where the heads are of the teams that I know of going into this. So, Diamond, the best of the best. Most part, I will say there are some phenomenal teams in all leagues, especially Silver. And the reason I say Silver is because Silver was just a smorgasbord of different teams that came in and were joining SATAL for the first time. And it's been really interesting to see new teams, especially ones that we saw in the last matchup that just played for 406 and Nemesis come in. So it's Diamond League is great, but all the leagues have great teams. And I actually need to tweet out the new match. We're not going to do it. I don't have time. So we're just going to stay with this. But TAW against Bravo League 4v4 here in Diamond League. All right, so who is flying what in today's matchup? Bravo Squadron, 416s. Miha Pronin, Bobcat, Predator, and Strangers. And the Art of Warfare TAW. Guess what? 416s. Preacher, Spectrum, Frosty, and Blaze. Everybody taking Vipers. It's like the flavor of the year. Even though the 120 got worse, and you may need more missiles, everybody loves the F-16. Watch Your Tail says, boring. It may be. It may be to not have those differences, but I can't tell the guys what to fly. They fly what they want to fly, and I really can't make fun of anybody because I may or may not fly the Viper. Maybe. But that's just me. I love 406 and their fulcrums. I mean, that was awesome, especially with Raven. Almost. He had an awesome opportunity to take it 1v4 and win, but he ran out of fuel. Viper is indeed boring because it sucks with current 120s. Maybe. I mean, I wouldn't say that it sucks any more than the other jets. Pistola says Nemesis best team ever. We'll have to see at the end of the year. We shall have to see. Shifty Mover says, I'm going to assume he's saying more F-14 and some more Phoenix. That would be cool. But the 14 shows up quite a bit. 14. So that's why this sounds weird. There we go. TAW Frosty leading the way for the Art of Warfare as they take off. 6 AMRAMs on his jet. I need to reset the overlay. There we go. So what do we have? TAW's taken all AMRAMs. Every single pilot, Frosty, Blaze, Preacher, and Spectrum, is taking AMRAMs. And I'm going to guess 3 tanks. Bravo Squadron, on the other hand, I love this overlay. Akagi, massive heart. I love you. Hugs. This overlay is awesome. Because we can see this stuff, it is just so great. So Bravo Squadron, Miha Pronin's got 6 AMRAMs. Predator has got 2 AIM-9s on his jet. Strangers, 1 AIM-9. Bobcat, 2 AIM-9s. So Bravo Squadron not putting all of their trust in the 120. I suppose Silver is basically a hodgepodge of pilots. You could have a diamond in the rough. Just, dude, there are Navy Doc. There are fantastic teams in Silver League. The leagues are not necessarily, Silver League is not necessarily in any way, shape, or form, the lowest tier. It's more about teams that haven't participated in SATAL before. I'm thinking the Flanker is very situational, intensive aircraft, which is, I seriously need to work on. The Flanker is. However, its vertical scan with its Erst is baller. And it makes up for that. The thing that it has a rough time with is peer-to-peer. It struggles with peer-to-peer because it doesn't have it in multiplayer. It does in single player, but it doesn't have it in multiplayer, which sucks. ED, if you're listening, please fix it. That would be awesome. Moltar, when are you showing the 18th match just so I can be there? Did we have to move it? I'm looking. 18th. It's a good question. That is a good question. Smooth Dangles, can you send me a message in Discord? I think I need your match for whatever reason. Maybe we added one and it's not on the schedule. I may have to do a 3-for on Friday. We'll have to see. Full fidelity flanker. When? Says Raptor. Never. I don't think that's ED's fault. I think there's some government stipulations. What is the matchup, though, that we're flying today? So we've got a Napa against Maycop. So this is what the mission area looks like. A Napa against Maycop. TAW coming out of a Napa. Bravo Squadron coming out of Maycop. All F-16s all the way around. Creedle says, Smooth always with the good questions. Dude, those are the awesome questions. Russia doesn't like sharing info? No, they don't. We may see a full fidelity MiG-29. There are rumors floating around. I have no idea. So don't. I have absolutely no clue. I've just seen people on Reddit and talk about it in the DCS World Events Discord about things with supposedly the MiG-29 coming in full fidelity. That would be really cool. Flanker it is not, though. Flanker it is not. So again, a Napa against Maycop. In this opening round of Diamond League 4v4. TAW Spectrum is leading the way along with Frosty in their typical four-man box formation. Blaze and Preacher are in the back. TAW does like to get very, very high. Now, I will say this. I flew in some practice matches with a couple teams over the weekend. The AMRAAM, in its current state, I don't think is worth launching at high altitude. It's so easy to get away from and notch with its particular problems that it's running into. I just don't know that it's worth getting up that high and launching an AMRAAM. Now, what you could do is get up that high and STT somebody to get them down from altitude. I don't know that it's worth launching because it seems like all somebody has to do is turn through a certain degree and then the missile loses them if they go cold. Until that's fixed, I don't know how I feel about that scenario. Now, looking at TAW, 35,000 feet for Frosty and Spectrum, 34,000 feet from Blaze, and then Preacher's at 28,000 feet. Now going over and looking at Bravo Squadron is at Strangers, 15,000. Predator, 23,000. Miha Pronin is higher at 32,000 feet, but he's in the back. So here's Miha Pronin coming in 3 tanks on his jet. He's at Mach 1.5, or 1.15, not 1.5. Though you can get that fast with 2 tanks on. He burns through his wing tanks. Interesting that he burned through the tanks that fast. I feel like you don't typically burn through your wing tanks that fast, so I have to assume that he still had fuel, Miha Pronin did, in those tanks, and now since he's closer to the engagement zone, to Bullseye, that he got rid of those tanks He got rid of those tanks to increase his energy stakes. You can see he's now at Mach 1.25 and accelerating. 1.3 now. Missile out from Blaze over here in the north. Looks like onto Mihapronin. Let's take a look at Mihapronin. Is he going to wait to launch? He does. Mihapronin does have 6 AMRAAMs. He is the one guy with 6 AMRAAMs on from Bravo Squadron. So he did get a 120 off. It's going to be coming on to Blaze. Blaze was at a decent altitude when he launched onto Mihapronin. Their missiles are going to cross. They're crossing now. Blaze is 30,000 feet. Mihapronin, who dove a lot before jettisoning, is already down to 16,000. And you can see, this is what I was talking about, ladies and gentlemen. This missile, not tracking. Not tracking at all. And that's because I think what's happening with the bug, with the 120, when you turn through a certain degree and you go cold, the missile just loses track of you. It just loses you. And that missile lost Mihapronin, was gone. Mihapronin didn't do anything. A 120 Charlie in previous patches wouldn't have lost him in that situation. So something's going on. ED knows it. They're fixing it. And again, guys, do not come down on ED because of this problem. Yeah, it sucks. But look at all the things that we're getting. Notch gates and speed gates and all of this crap, INS that we're getting with the 120 that we never had before. Things are going to break before we get there. So is the 120B also bugged? I think so, because I think they use the same guidance, but I don't know. Funny how nearly everybody's crying about the 120's performance when they're not hard to notch, etc. The 120... Oh, you mean currently, like the 120's too good? Dude, the one... That is funny if that's what you meant. When I see that in things, because it's like, dude, do you know how easy the 120 is to get away? But, all right, hold on. I'm going to pause this and address what Smooth Dangle said. I don't think that beta tester was kicked because of that. I don't think that was the case. That's all I will say, Smooth Dangles, but I don't think that was the reason. Okay? Because I have talked to ED about things that I'm doing and what I've said. Because I'm, you know, I gotta say, I can come across as a shill for ED, and guys, I am pausing this just to make this known. But we are in their sim, right? We are doing their stuff. And I think, well, I'm not going to put an official word out because I'm not a representative ED. But all I will say, Smooth Dangles, is I don't think that's the reason. I don't think that's why. So just take that for what you will. We'll go back into the sim. I'm not a representative of ED, so I may or may not know things, but all I'm going to say is I don't think that's why. So we'll just leave it at that. Let's jump back into the match. I just don't want people having misconceptions. Anyway, here we go. 120 now out from Mihapronin. That one's going to be on to Blaze. Blaze is now defending into this missile, and Blaze could be in a bit of trouble here as this missile closes 2.7 miles away, coming closer, and it loses track. No, you don't need to apologize, Smooth Dangles. It wasn't anything on your fault or any fault of your own. I'm just trying to clear the air because you don't know anything, right? You're not going to know something either way, so why would you think differently, you know? Missile coming in on a Predator. He gets away from that. Missile also coming in on a Spectrum, and Spectrum's going to try and notch this. Half a mile away, close. Oh, it pulled up at the last moment, and Spectrum gets obliterated. So Predator's missile, it seemed to lose him, and then it found him at the end, and it annihilated him. I thought it was going to go underneath him. Pulled up, it's like, nuh-uh, I see you, and it took him down. Raptor says last second reacquisition. That is indeed what it seemed like. Preacher now launching a 120. Here's the missile from Preacher. That one's going to be coming in onto Bobcat, and Bobcat driving away. That missile was launched from a decent distance. 8 miles, and Bobcat was already going cold, but you can see this is part of the issue I'm having with the 120s. You go cold, and it just, like, it doesn't track you through it. I don't know why. Predator now, defending against a 120 from Preacher. Preacher also defending a 120 from Predator. Here's Predator diving, line of sights it. He's okay. Up to the north, now we've got a missile exchange coming between, who's that between? That is between Frosty and Strangers. We got Strangers on screen, driving away from the incoming 120. Frosty also having to defend. He's going to notch it. So what's happening here, what I'm noticing is TAW is depending more on the notch, and Bravo Squadron is depending more on out energy. They are out energying incoming threats. Missile now coming in on a Bobcat. That doesn't track. Miha Pronin trying to make something happen against Preacher. We're underneath his jet. Miha Pronin maybe getting caught a bit high. 120 inside a mile, half mile incoming, face foul. Goodbye, Miha Pronin. Ramrodded. He is gone. And pausing this so we don't miss anything. Come on, pause. Don't do that to me. Come on. Just letting the cameras sync up because I think we got something coming in here rather quickly. So Frosty now coming up against Strangers. Strangers already having launched, and we can see Strangers' launch is much earlier than Frosty's. So we're going to put these guys on a split screen so we can track both of them. Here's one. Here is the other, split screen on both. The other advantage that Strangers is going to have in this situation, Strangers is higher. He's also slightly faster. All right, so here we go. Missiles are dangerous close from both teams. So Frosty launches onto Strangers. He gets annihilated. Strangers may not get away from this one. No, it's a trade. So both those guys get taken down. I thought Strangers was going to have the advantage, but it's a trade between Strangers and Frosty. Great exchange there. And we're down to a 2v2. So very, very equal match between Bravo Squadron and TAW right now. Predator, who we're watching now, trying to make something happen against Preacher and Blaze. Bobcat coming onto split screen. He's on the right, Bobcat on the right, Predator on the left. Blaze getting a little bit isolated. Preacher launching a missile from the north down onto Predator. Bobcat having to defend. We can see Bobcat on the right driving the missile into the ground. There it goes. Predator recommit. Nope, they're cross-blocking. So Predator back in the back, cross-blocking across Bobcat. Bobcat now recommitting. Looks like Predator's going to do the same. Bobcat recommitting into a hot Blaze. Launches a 120. That's going to be on to Blaze. Blaze needs to immediately get into the notch. Here's Blaze. Dumps into the notch, and Blaze gets hit, but doesn't go down. So great shot by Bobcat there on his behalf. But unfortunately for him, Blaze does not go down. But Blaze is in a world of trouble as Predator comes in at 666 knots onto Blaze's ass. And if that doesn't tell you something, just by the airspeed alone, that will, as Blaze gets annihilated. And now we're down to Preacher. Preacher got a missile coming in on him, and Preacher gets taken down. So Bravo's Predator and Bobcat. Oh, Preacher took down Bobcat. So Predator's the only one left. How close of a match could that be? Everyone died. There were 7 kills, ladies and gentlemen, in this matchup in 2.5 minutes. 7 kills in 2.5 minutes. Bobcat took down Preacher, and then Preacher got a missile off, and we're going to see that here on TAC view. Bobcat got a missile off. I don't think there's really anything else worth looking at on the TAC view. So Blaze goes down to Bobcat in a blaze of glory. No, he doesn't. He gets hit, and then Predator comes in with the demon speed, 666. Blaze, did Blaze just not have any missiles here? Could have exchanged with Predator, and this could have gone either way in the 1v1, but instead elects to go immediately into the notch, and you're not going to notch an AIM-9. It's just not going to happen. It's not going to happen. He gets taken down. Then Bobcat comes head-on against Preacher, and Preacher, right before he tries to get in to defend, gets this 120 off. I didn't see this missile come off. Bobcat can't do jack diddly because he's way too close when that missile comes off of Preacher. 2 miles. You don't have time, especially when you're Mach 1.1. You don't have time to do that. So just by sheer luck of not being over there, Predator gets out of it, the only man remaining in this matchup. 4v4, TAW against Bravo Squadron. Predator wins it for Bravo. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Bravo Squadron up 1-0 over TAW in this Diamond League 4v4 best of 3. And that round could have gone either way. If you guys missed round 1, I highly suggest you go back and watch it when we complete this stream. It was so close. Everybody died rapidly. And it could have gone either way down to the very, very end. I won't ruin it for you. We've already talked about it. Don't need to ruin it now. Smooth Dangles, I got to ask, random question. How does one become named Smooth Dangles? How does that happen? What is the deal there? I must know. Dauber? Oh, you're talking to Dauber. I was like, Dauber? I don't know what that means. Okay, so let's talk about what needed to happen in that last match. I don't know what needed to happen in that last match. It happened so fast that I don't really have any constructive criticism for either team because I'm not really sure what happened. There was so much stuff going on that I don't really know what to say. So we're just going to hope that going into this round 2, this best of 3, that we see more of the same. I will say, though, that I don't know that TAW needs to be as high as they are getting in the opening salvos. I think they may be able to get a little lower. However, maybe they're doing that for flight economy. Is that possible? I think I'm just being too subjective and too critiquey. That's not even a word. I just don't know. I don't have a word to fill that void of how these teams are ingressing based solely on the fact that I don't like how the current 120's behaving. And over my practice matches that I flew with a couple teams, the long-range 120s don't seem to be working at all or getting anywhere close because even if you defend late, they're just losing track. They're not even following you, and normally where you would have to out-energy them, they're just losing track flat out, which is really interesting. Flight pit. No. Okay. Bend that out of the way. The teams are ingressing here. Bravo Squadron against TAW if you're just joining us in this best of 3. Bravo is up 1-0 over TAW in a very either way opening round. That round was very, very close. To be able to, the 120s haven't been bad for me recently. But still fucked. So not bad, but still bad. Not bad, but still bad. Who did you fly with? I don't know. I don't know who I flew with. Mouth shut. Nobody will know. I am open to flying with teams for practice matches and stuff. I enjoy flying. I'm just not a part of a team. They've been all right, very hit and miss. There is very little consistency to them. I think a big part of the non-consistency is due to the fact that they overlay did not reset. We're not going to have the overlay for this one because it's not. I probably screwed something up. We're not going to have the overlay, so we're just going to have to turn it off. Anyway, I didn't know I don't even know why I'm here. I can barely fly the frog foot while high people. Dude, you don't need to be able to fly to be here. This is just here for fun. We're here to support all of our virtual flyboys. I watch NFL football, and I would get my ass kicked if I walked onto that field. So nobody should think, oh, I need to be a great pilot to be able to participate or to watch this stuff. And I suck with the frog foot too. Frog foot's hard. Frog foot's really hard. I don't know how to fly the frog foot either. I don't know that anybody does. Okay, probably some people do, but I'm terrible with it. We're here more for Moltar's commentary rather than match. Everybody's just here to watch the train wreck of how everybody screws up. Watch and learn their tactics and have fun. Elric's got the right idea. Frogfoot is in Spanish or something, I don't know. No. Is there a reason why the U.S. decided to call the Su-25 the Frogfoot? How did it get that name? I know it's... Why did it get that name? Because all of the other Russian jets, like the Flanker, the Fulcrum, they start with F, and they're 2 syllables. And that's how they'd get their nomenclature. But why is the Su-25 classified as a fighter? The silhouette looks like a frog foot? No. I was hoping they would call the Su-57 the flapjack because it's so flat, it looks like a pancake. But no, they had to go with felon. Flapjack. I thought I was onto something. I know B for bomber. I know that. F for... But my point is that the Su-25 isn't a fighter. It's ground attack. Too small for a bomber? Yeah, but what is the... Well, I guess you have the fullback, and the fullback's not a fighter. Too small for bomber, need to be able to have ground crews indefinite. Identify best NATO codename Blackjack. Best NATO codename is Flapjack, but they didn't use it because they're losers. They don't watch my stream, that's why. Felon. If you look at the bottom of the Su-25 landing gear, it is a webbed like a frog's foot so it can swim. I like backfire. Backfire's cool. The bombers are awesome. Bombers are awesome. Aerospace professional says he tried that. Frogfoot is not aquatic. He's not able to do that. Mia Pronin gets us started. 120 coming up onto Frosty. Frosty defending, diving from 30-some thousand feet, 550 knots, getting his book on, Mach 1.1 and accelerating, leveling out a little bit, missiles at 17,000 feet, Mach 2.3. As it closes in on him, it's going to be on his right, and he is going to out-energy that incoming threat. Excuse me, with no problem. MiG-15 has the best NATO name. I was in Seattle at the Aeronautics Museum, and I told my brother what the MiG-15's name is. He's like, shh, you can't say that here in Seattle. Very free thinking. I was like, dude, that's what it's really called. What do you want me to do? Banned for, yeah. Spectrum and Predator now trying to make something happen. 120 off from Predator. That's going to be on to Spectrum or Preacher. Strangers and Mia Pronin. Did we miss somebody? Oh, what is Blaze doing? Why are you all the way down here? Interesting. Very interesting. Who's the guy that saw the 15 and said, We should call, well, yeah, I don't know. Blaze checking out this dude. He's on a picnic. He's on, I don't know what he's doing. Blaze is on an adventure. But Strangers coming in onto Frosty. Going back to take a look at Frosty. Frosty has Strangers and me opponent off to his left, probably 15 miles. Preacher up to the north is trying to run away from Bobcat. Nobody really committing heavily into these engagements yet. Nobody wanting to really drive and be aggressive. TAW knows if they lose, they're done. Bravo Squadron knows if they win, they're done. Blaze checking out the yeah, I already read that. But 120 going down onto Blaze. Here's that 120 as it glides through the air. Is it even still tracking? It's trying. Blaze at 33,000 feet. Mach 1.4. Missile doesn't have a chance. Going back up to Frosty. Missile off from Frosty. That's going to be up onto Predator. Predator driving away from that incoming AMRAAM. He is now in full retreat. He's got 2 tanks on. Guy's doing a really good job of getting rid of that center line. We've also got an AMRAAM coming off of Predator onto no one. Doesn't look like it's going on to anyone. I think the one we need to watch, though, is Bobcat. Bobcat, 550 knots, 4,700 feet, coming in on Frosty. Frosty launches on him. Bobcat doesn't respond. I really like that. Saves the sticks. He's still got 6 sticks, 5 AMRAAMs and 1 AIM-9. Drives that one to the ground. Great job there. Frosty doesn't follow that missile through. Bobcat continues to egress. Blaze now engaging the Southern 2 ship against Strangers and Mia Pronin. Mia Pronin has this AMRAAM coming in on him. He's diving down. Missile's 3.5 miles away. Spectrum up to the north, trying to make something happen. 120 off from Strangers onto Frosty. Here's Frosty as he turns away from the incoming munition from Strangers. Whereas at 4.5 miles away, that shouldn't be a problem. Frosty's not going to try to out-energy it, though. He's going to notch it, and missile goes in the ground. Why are they going into the ground? Why is that happening? I feel like that is happening way more often than they used to. Is it because they're getting notched that they're going into the ground? I don't understand why they're going into the ground so often lately. Is it just me? I feel like it's not. I feel like it's not. Bobcat recommitting. Bobcat's actually going to find himself, if he keeps this turn going, in a very good position against Frosty. And he did pick him up. It's a 120 off onto Frosty. We're going to ride it from here. Frosty gets hit. He waited too long to try and get a missile off onto Bobcat, but he waited and Bobcat was able to get away from it. Great shot by Bobcat onto Frosty. Damn! Frosty got schmammered. And Strangers, well, look at Preacher. Preacher, what are you doing? 6 sticks, no tanks, is in the enemy line. Inside the enemy line. Him and Spectrum are going balls to the wall here, ladies and gentlemen, trying to make something happen against their adversaries, and Bobcat and Strangers now launching onto Preacher, and Preacher's got a bunch of sticks. Preachers gets taken down. Spectrum just launched. I think Spectrum took down Bobcat in that engagement. Now we've got Strangers coming in onto Spectrum in a great shooting position. Does he see him? No! Yes, he does. So missile off kilter from Spectrum. It doesn't track. Spectrum in front launches a missile. Lost him. Launches a missile up onto Predator. Predator, meanwhile, needs to defend. He's got a missile coming in on a 6. Predator diving away. Missile's 0.5 miles behind him. It looks like it's going to go into the ground. It is, so he's okay. Mia Pronin's got a missile coming to him. Mia Pronin gets schmammered. He's gone. So now it's a 2v2. Strangers all over the 6 of Spectrum up here to the north. And then we've got Predator trying to be the Predator to come in on Blaze. Missile off onto from Strangers onto Spectrum. Spectrum's dead. Goodbye, Spectrum. No. Yes. Okay, I was going to say that is rough. But Predator now launches an AIM-9 onto a hot Blaze. Blaze breaks away. Blaze is going to be... Is Predator going to get away? Yeah, Predator drove that one into the ground. Okay, so Blaze is the only one left for TAW. Can he make something happen? He's got 1 stick left and his gun. 120 out onto Strangers. Strangers responds with a 120 of his own. Needs to get down. Needs to get down and do it fast. 120, 1.5 miles away. 1 mile, still tracking. Treetops into the ground. Great job there. But now, Blaze merged with Predator. No sticks left for Blaze. Blaze coming up over the top. Predator in a pretty bad position here. But now Strangers coming in from the side. Oh, a little bit of lag. Whoa, Strangers. Didn't really matter. He didn't have a missile coming at him. Does he have any sticks left? Missile flies right by Blaze from Predator. Strangers trying to close. No sticks left. Trying to go for gun skill. Pulling lead. May see M61 here in just a moment with the 20 mil. There it is. Saw some hits. Hit Blaze's aircraft. Don't think he's dead yet. He's still trying to churn. Oh, there it is. So he's still trying to churn on a Predator, but Strangers comes in from the back, sandwiches Blaze and takes him down. Great showcase from Bravo. TAW did very well to try and stay in that one, but it didn't matter. Bravo Squadron comes out with 2 pilots remaining. Let's have a quick look at the TAC view before we get out of here. This is where we'll pick up. So Spectrum does well at getting away from that AIM-9. Why did that AIM-9 not track? What is this? Spectrum should be dead. Gets very lucky. What is that AIM-9 doing? Stranger's is going to kill Spectrum anyway, but it's going to cost him a couple more missiles that he could have used the last part of that round. And then what happened with Predator on Spectrum? Look at this. We're going to get this missile. Watch this. What? What? What was that? 120s? 120s are just doing some weird stuff. And Predator able to get away from that one, keep it a 2v2. Strangers takes down Spectrum. Goodbye. That was the second AIM-9. Blaze launches a good 120 on Predator. It goes into the ground. Blaze's missile that he was defending goes into the ground. Then he merges with Strangers. Strangers drives that one into the ground. Good job. Into the ground. Blaze defends. Just so many missiles going into the ground that I feel like wouldn't have done that in the past. Rear aspect 120 coin toss. Think beef. Yeah, you're right. That is exactly true. And that's when they're having problems is rear aspect or when you do this turn in front of him. But now Blaze is sandwich. Predator coming from one direction. Strangers in onto another. Blaze turns away from Strangers. Blaze and Strangers both don't have anything. Why does that AIM-9 miss? Weird. Wonder why that happened. But in the end, Stranger's able to take him down with 20 mil, pulls lead, gets a couple shots, and then disintegrates and eviscerates Blaze's aircraft, giving Bravo Squadron the round win. Well done by them. Smooth Dangles with 100 bits. Thank you very much. And Grand Speed 2 days ago with the Prime sub. Thank you very much, because I don't even think we were streaming then. But thank you. Much appreciated. So thanks, guys, for tuning in. Our next match is going to be what was supposed to be today. So the next match is going to be Alamo Squadron against Golden Crown and ETF against 14th. That is going to be tomorrow. Okay? So tomorrow's match, Alamo Squadron against Golden Crown and Eclipse Task Force against 14th. So be ready for that. Another doubleheader will be in the works for tomorrow. Let's take a look at the top 3. So Strangers was our top guy, 4-to-1 kill to death ratio. Predator 2-0 and Preacher 2-2. So Strangers, the man on a mission, getting half of Bravo Squadron's kills. Half of them came from Strangers. He got 3 of them in round 2. 3 of them in round 2. What a showcase by him in this matchup. Bravo Squadron on the back of Strangers coming out with the victory over TAW. So again, tomorrow's matchup is going to be Alamo Squadron against Golden Crown and Eclipse Task Force against 14th VFS. So be ready for that. We got double headers all week, baby. Buckle up, because it's going to be a good one. But this is where I get out, ladies and gentlemen. Have a safe rest of your day. Fly safe in those virtual skies. And until next time, ladies and gentlemen, have a good one. And I'll see you guys later. And smooth dangles! Dropping the 5 gifted subs, baby. Thank you, brother. Just goes back into making the stream better. Have a good one, ladies and gentlemen. Until next time, see you later.